Greetings, beloveds. As you make your way towards the aspect of self that you call higher self, Holy Spirit, soul, know that in this weaving of the egoic mind and what would be considered the mind of God, you will meet along the way chasms, where you have allowed the separation to be so vast that it would seem to be as vast as that of the Grand Canyon. The way to fill that gap, the way to fill that void, the way to cross that bridge, beloveds, is to fill that with love. Let it pour out of you like a golden elixir that would raise the tides so that you can traverse the distance. There is no distance, there is no void, lest the mind make it so, that says, between me and another, there exists this space, this distance that must be traveled. Let it be filled with the light of innocence. Let it be filled with light of love. Let it be filled with the ability to look upon and see another with forgiveness. Ultimately, it is forgiveness of self, of the projection, saying that there is any distance, for you see that time and space are indeed illusory. And yet, while you are still in this third dimension fixation, which is really all that it is, beloveds, because you exist on all dimensions as all things. But while there is still a fixation upon this being is separate than me, this being has done wrong to me, this being has said cruel things, this being has committed cruel actions, this being has murdered, this being has raped, I have done these things, they have done these things, while all of these actions are still considered to be real to you in one aspect or another, you have created this gap, this opening. And what there is to do to fill the space of this, beloved ones, is to fill it. Fill the space with your holiness. Fill the space with their divinity. Fill the space with love and light. For in the darkness and in the shadows, the mind will take license to create the most heinous of stories. And yet, when you allow yourself to back up enough to see the truth, that's when the laughter ensues. That's when you say, ah, I have known all along. I have not truly forgotten. There's an aspect of me that always remembered that my Father and I are one, that there was one moment of creation. What was created was the Christ being, and I am indeed that being. And you will stop looking upon me as if it was me and not you. And you will see the wholeness. You will see that I exist in you and you exist in me, in thought, in word, and in deed. And until you come to that moment, until that juxtaposition is healed within the core of your beingness, reach out, beloved, and let us join hands. Come to me as I come to you, and allow me to bring you to the place where you have forgotten yourself. And together we stand arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder. Whatever you need to be reminded that only love is real and that you are an embodiment of that love. So if you find your mind filled with conversations and filled with conflict and filled with ridicule and filled with anger and filled with the need for protection and defense against the very beingness that you are, go within and ask for assistance, ask for help, Ask for light and ask for love, and it will be granted to you instantaneously. For how could it not? It is the truth of you. All that happens, beloveds, is the curtain, the little veil is pulled away. And you say, ah, look, there is light, when there always has been. The cloud is moved away. It is blown away with the breath that God breathes. And the breath that God breathes is the breath that you are. For God is, and I am, are the inhale and the exhale of that same cosmic breath. So allow yourself today, beloveds, to be the consciousness that God is, and therefore I am. It is much like Descartes' concept that I think, therefore I am. However, it is more that God is, therefore I am. I am, therefore I am. God is, therefore God is. And that is the truth of it, of all of it. And through the many layers, through the many echelons and the dimensions and the quadrants of existence and consciousness, you weave in and out of this cognition, of this memory, of this remembrance. There was indeed a collective shift. And if the recording does not come back, it does not matter, beloveds, for it lives within you. The effects were felt upon the intended. What there was a joining of souls, a weaving together, a closeness, a gap that had closed amongst all of you. And love shone. It was as if a beam went up into the heavens when all were brought together in prayer. So do not allow yourself, beloveds, to despair of anything. Know that we are with you always, as you are always with us. I am with you as you are with me. And what God has given and what God has granted belongs to each, belongs to all. So be joyful today, beloved ones, in your readings, in your words, in your prayers, and in your actions. And have some fun along the way. We love you. We will speak with you again.
Gorgeous, my dear.